friends, what's up? My name is Joss from Squibblesreads and welcome back to another Hidden Gems video where I introduce some lesser known books that I have read or are on my TBR. At the end of each of these videos, I also shout out a booktuber whose videos I have been loving lately. Today we're going to go through a few full-length novels and also a couple graphic novels that I've had my eye on Goodreads for a while. They have very few reviews, like under 500 for some of them, and I think the covers of all of these are super gorgeous. The first book is so cool, and it is called Dream Strider by Litsy Smith. The blurb says that it is a fantastical espionage novel set in a world where dreams are the language of political intelligence. We meet this girl named Livia, and she is a dream strider, and what this means is that she basically goes into people's bodies while they sleep, and she is able to walk around in the real world and gain intelligence about the waking world. Naturally, this is a pretty good skill, and she uses this skill to be a spy for the Barnstadt Empire. This empire suspects an invasion, which makes dream striding significantly more dangerous, and dream striders are more at risk for being pulled into the underworld called the Wastes, where nightmares can devour them. This book sounds like nothing I've ever read before. It sounds fantastical and suspenseful, and I'm so glad that I stumbled across this. And up next we have Nest by Angus Simpson, who is an Australian author. Nest is about a woman named Jen who used to be an artist and a teacher, but now likes more solitary activities like birdwatching and taking care of her subtropical garden. She does teach a boy named Henry who comes over after school for art lessons. A girl in Henry's class goes missing, and this somehow forces Jen to revisit her past, especially this week where she lost both her father and her best friend Michael within that span of the week. The descriptions of this book say that the prose is beautiful, warm, and lush, and really evocative of a summer in Queensland, Australia. It was actually kind of surprising to me to figure out that I haven't read a lot of Australian fiction in the past, and that's something that I really want to get into, so I think this book is going to be a good starting point for that. This next book is an upcoming release. It's going to be published on April 12th, which is very soon, and it is called A Fierce and Subtle Poison by Samantha Maybury. It centers around the legend of the cursed girl named Isabel. She has green skin and her hair is made of grass, and she feeds on these poisonous plants that grow in her family's Caribbean garden. Then we meet a boy named Lucas, and he is 17 and he spends most of his summers in Puerto Rico. This summer that we meet him, his girlfriend suddenly goes missing, and on the day that his girlfriend goes missing, Isabel from the legend starts leaving these mysterious letters for him. He finds himself more and more captivated into Isabel's world. However, the more time he spends with Isabel, the more his life is at stake. I love the diversity of the characters and the myths and the legends that are incorporated into this story. I do have a copy that was sent to me by the publisher, so I'm very excited to pick it up. Next we have Out of Darkness by Ashley Hope Perez, which is based on the 1937 school explosion in East Texas, which was an awful school disaster. In the story we follow two people, Naomi and Wash. It highly centers around the lines that are drawn between people of color and Caucasians at this point in history in East Texas. It's about destruction, segregation, and the ties that bind us in relationships, and that is exactly what I look for in a novel. Alright, so I'm also going to talk about two graphic novels. The first one was released earlier this year, and it's called Rosa Lee Lightning, and it is a graphic memoir written by Tom Hart. Tom Hart and his wife Leela Corman are both artists for graphic novels and comics, and unfortunately their daughter Rosalie passed away when she was only 2. This graphic memoir surrounds Rosalie's passing and also follows Tom and Leela's journey through grief, finding hope, and finding comfort in nature, in literature, and in philosophy. I really love it when graphic novels get emotional, and I am hoping that this one will do the trick. The next graphic novel that I'm going to introduce is called The Outside Circle by Patty LaBoucane Benson. It's about two brothers. Pete is the older brother and Joey is the younger one. They are Aboriginal and they live in poverty and are introduced into drug abuse and gang violence. Throughout the story, they try and keep a positive spiritual outlook on life, even though the trauma that they've experienced goes back generations and generations over centuries. The older brother Pete gets into a fight with his mom's boyfriend Dennis, and that lands him in jail. Only then does he realize that his involvement with gang violence has been having a negative influence on Joey. Together they begin to mold their identities and lives outside of the gang lifestyle, and they draw from a lot of Aboriginal traditions, for example healing circles and ceremonies. The author has done more than 20 years of research on the incarceration and the treatment of Aboriginal men specifically, and also the two-way influence of the way that the culture shapes and molds their behavior. Okay, so in this Hidden Gems video, I wanted to introduce you guys to Leanne from Literary Diversions. I talked about her a little bit in my first Thrillers and More Thursday that came out a few days ago, but on her channel, she is doing something really similar to Thrillers and More Thursday, and it is called Crime Corner. So she's going to talk about everything in the psychological, mystery, suspense, thriller, crime genre as well. I obviously love finding books in that genre to dive into. I also really love the other books that she reads as well, so if you guys are interested in her channel, I would definitely encourage you to check it out, and I will leave a link in the down bar below. And a quick reminder that I am also hosting Genrethon, which I'm so excited about. It's going to be from April 10th to the 17th. We have been seeing some TBRs go up and are so happy about it. So if you guys are interested in participating in that, it is super chill. You only have to read 3 books. You can read books you've already started. I'll leave a link to my announcement video down below as well. So that is it for this video. If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything else, please leave it down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!